What's going on, guys? Stefan here with you, S&E's Garage. Today we are in the shop with our 2005 GX470. This is very similar to a 4th gen 4Runner. And what we are going to be doing today is installing some Super Pro lower control arms, along with some Super Pro adjustable sway bar end links. So for those of you that have been following the channel, earlier this year we went ahead and lifted this thing. We went over the whole suspension, upper control arms, springs and shocks, rear air delete, so it's got traditional coil springs in the back. The only thing we did not change is our lower control arms. Now we are chasing an issue with this truck. On hard acceleration and on hard braking, I'm having a pull to the left, and then when I let off the gas or the brake, the truck straightens out. And what that indicates to me is these like I said, the lower control arms are literally the only thing that I didn't change. And what I'm thinking is going on is on braking and acceleration, these bushings here, the factory bushings, number one, they're pretty worn out, they're cracked. They're letting the front wheels toe in and toe out when there is a force applied to them. And between the fact that they are old and we have 33-inch tires installed on the truck that it technically was never really designed for, I just think it's time to go ahead and replace them. So we decided to go with the Super Pros because they have a stiffer polyurethane bushing. It's going to last longer. The truck's going to drive better for the way we use it. Now this is actually a pretty easy installation, assuming that your bolts that go in through the lower control arms are not seized. We did just recently have this, had this thing apart and lined up, and I know that they are free, so I'm not thinking we're going to have any problems, but I've been wrong before. So the first thing that we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to work on getting the shocks disconnected from the lowers. So you're going to need a impact gun back here, and then you're probably going to want to put a wrench up here. We'll get that bolt out, and then we can go ahead and pop this cotter pin out, get the castle nut out for the lower, and we'll work on getting that apart. Okay, so like I said, we're going to use a 19 here. We're holding the nut end, and we're going to go ahead and zip the bolt out. Again, this is for the shock where it mounts to the control arm. There we go. You can see the nut will come out. Go ahead and pull the washer off. And we're going to go ahead and see if we can get it to walk the rest of the way out. You may need to use a hammer and a punch to punch that bolt all the way through. Like so. Next up, we're going to go ahead and remove this cotter pin. We're going to remove the castle nut, and then we're going to strike right here with a hammer. We're going to try to jar this loose. Once the ball joint is out of the ball joint bracket, we can go ahead and remove these two 19s and drop the bracket out. So to pull the cotter pin, you're just going to straighten the back of it out. And ours is pretty crusty, so it might fight us a little bit, but you're just going to want to smack it literally with the end of your dikes, and you should, in theory, be able to get it to move. If it doesn't, you can go ahead and just cut these ends off and then push it through with a punch. So let me just show you how to do it that way. So now we'll just take a skinny punch with a hammer. And attempt to punch it through. Now, once you have the other end of the cotter pin sticking out, you can go ahead and use your dikes and remove it the rest of the way. Now we can pull that bolt off. And it is going to be a 24 millimeter. Now, there's two different ways here that you can go ahead and get the ball joint out. Like I said, we're going to go ahead and smack this right here with a hammer. You could also use a pickle fork because we're not reusing this ball joint, so you could really just put a pickle fork right here, knock it out that way, or you can strike the castle nut here with a hammer to push it up. But like I said, a couple of good hits right here should pop it out. And there you have it. So now we can go ahead and pull the bracket off for the lower control arm, and then we'll go ahead and switch over here to the bushing side. So now we're going to use a 19 here, and we're going to go ahead and take this nut off. And now you're going to go ahead and take that same 19, and you're just going to go ahead and try to spin this. It should spin relatively freely, and if it does, you can now go ahead and remove these cams and slide the bolt the rest of the way out. Now we're going to go ahead and repeat the same process here, but the setup is going to be a little bit different. On this side, we're just going to be loosening this 19, and it's threaded in through the back. So let me just get some PB Blaster on this. Just so that we have some lubricant on these threads. Now the fact that this bolt is spinning freely is a great sign. That means that, again, the bolt's not seized in the bushing. If the bolt gets seized in the bushing, you're gonna have to use a Sawzall to cut it out. You can't heat it because all you're gonna do is melt the bushing, and you're not gonna do anything to the sleeve. So this is a good sign that this is coming apart this easy. Okay, so our lower control arm did ultimately end up biting us in the butt. The camber adjustment on this side was actually seized into the control arm. So I just had to massage it here a little bit in order to get it out. I just broke it apart with the air hammer, but we got it out and all is good. So now we're gonna go ahead and take the new hardware supplied by the guys over at Super Pro, and we're gonna go ahead and start installing this new lower control arm. So we're just gonna slide this guy up here into place. And then go ahead and start in the back is where I'm ultimately gonna decide to start here. Now you are just going to want to make sure that both of your cams are in their slots and facing the right way. And then you can go ahead and snug the bolts up. Now I'm going to set these cams in the same orientation that they were when I removed them. And that should get me close enough to get this over to the alignment shop without completely obliterating my tires. So we're gonna go with good enough just to get it aligned, and then we'll go ahead and do that. So very quickly, I am just gonna go ahead, coat this with some anti-seize and slide it in. Now, once you get everything in, you're gonna go ahead, you're gonna start your bolt for your shock. You're gonna go ahead and start your nut and bolt here for the ball joint, put your cotter pin in, and then you're gonna go ahead and tighten your lower control arm bracket. So now we are in the middle of torquing this down. You're gonna torque these to roughly 140 Newton meters. It ends up being right around 110 foot-pounds. So I have these set basically to where I want them, and I'm going to instruct my alignment shop to do any adjustments that need to be done up at the upper control arms, because what this is gonna do, I have the bottom down here set for maximum positive caster. That's gonna move the wheel closer to the front of the truck in the wheel well, and it's gonna help give me some clearance back by the rock slider or the running boards, whatever you wanna call them, so that you don't rub, because sometimes on full lock, I do rub. So this should help negate that, but like I said, we're just gonna go ahead and torque this to the spec. One more click. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing with the rear one. These are 27 millimeters. I believe these were 19s. I'll let you know in a second. The back one is a 21. So off camera, we went ahead and did the same thing here on the driver's side. Again, we maxed this out full positive caster. That's going to bring the wheel this way in the wheel well. That way you could run a little bit of a bigger tire and not have to trim as much. That's the trick that I used, and it worked great. So we just mimicked that with these new control arms. Now what's great about these is you could torque these while they're up in the air like we did earlier, because this is a full floating bushing. So you don't have to worry about loading the car up or loading the truck up, putting weight on it. You're good to go. Everything here is done, cotter pins in, everything's tight. We're gonna go ahead and throw our wheels on. We're gonna take it for a lap, and then tomorrow we are going to go ahead and get a fresh alignment and get this thing dialed in. So if this video helped you, please like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below, let us know if it helped. Stay tuned. In our next video with this truck, we're going to be installing the Super Pro sway bar end links, and we're super excited for it. So we'll see you next time. Like, share, and subscribe.